Great to be with you on the air this morning.
And so we are heading up to the start for the final of the Ladies' Challenge Plate. And we will have Princeton University on the Bark Station against Cambridge University on the Buck Station. So we see the crews there, Princeton on the far side, Cambridge on the near side. Ready, blades are squared, ready to unleash their best grace.
Attention!
And so the final of the Ladies' Challenge Plate kicks off with fierce starts from both crews, from America and from Cambridge.
Wow, look at the power in that Princeton boat in the Bark Station. They're really driving out here. This is a class act from Cambridge. I commentated on their race yesterday. They looked really slick to get through in that race over Oxford Brookes.
Yeah, so Oxford Brookes have won 4 of the last 5 in this event, but they were knocked out by Cambridge yesterday, and that means that Cambridge have won the right to meet this very impressive crew that are already powering off, and they've been powering off against every crew they've met so far, the Princeton, the Tigers.
That's right, and Princeton are the first US college since Brown in 2009 to make the final of both the Temple and the Ladies. So can they make it 1 or 2 wins today? Because it's that conversion, it's taking the trophy home, that's the big task ahead of them today.
It is a historic day. We saw the Marlow win, first time a senior event, hugely historic. And again, I've heard the Princeton team talking about how they last won this in 2006, which was another year when they were unbeaten. And these moments mark the history of clubs and universities, don't they? And mean that so many others from the clubs and universities feel connected to this. They feel a little part of that history.
But look at Princeton, they're really driving out. I think tactically they clearly want to get themselves out into a controlling position in this race. This Cambridge University boat, there's 4 athletes from the victorious men's blue boat, including the president of the club, 5 Goldie athletes, including the Cox. They were overall winners at the Met Regatta. So an incredibly strong boat here. But the Princeton heavies just walking away at this stage in the race.
They are looking really dominant, as you say. Yes, it's great to see Cambridge making the final. It's pretty tough for these athletes to have 2 major peaks in a year. So the boat race back at the end of March is, the ultimate in the boat racing calendar. And then, of course, often the athletes have got exams, and somehow the intensity leading up to the boat race means they need a bit of downtime. And so it's great, though, to see the quality of crew they put together and to be racing the final. And that's what they want to do. They want to have an all-round year program where they can take on the best in the world, and it's brilliant to have sort of Matt Edge and Sebastian Benzakri from that boat race crew, really key figures. Sebastian, the outgoing president, making sure they're here contesting this today. A lovely overhead shot. We have that Tigers canvas there, showing that they are here to mean business. Wow, that's powerful.
And you could hear the coxswains in the boat. The coxswain's an incredibly important role. They sit in the stern of the 8s. You might have seen some of the other boats like the Britannia, the 4, where it's a bow-loaded coxswain, but in the 8s, the cox sits in the stern of the boat so they can see all of the rowers. And their job is not just to steer, but it's also to control the crew. They're calling to the boat, they're keeping the crew in time, they'll be giving some coaching feedback, but also helping to give them the race plan and also give them updates, because ideally you don't want those rowers looking out of the boat. That's the coxswain's job. So it's really up to the coxswain to ensure that they have control of the boat, but are also giving the crew updates. And the one thing that we always used to hate was when your cox fibbed a little bit and said, "Oh, we're moving," but you had to actually be moving. So you do need a coxswain who's on the money.
I mean, I think the Cambridge crew are doing a good job of not quite overlapping, but they will still be sensing Princeton. They are really digging in, and for a while now Princeton haven't been moving away. They're digging. They're going to have a big push that's going to come up soon, and they're going to see if they'll be used to these big pushes from the boat race, where it's a much longer race over 4¼ miles, and they'll be seeing if they can start to eat back, and they are very close to getting overlap again.
So this is really interesting. So there's a bit of a psychological thing here at Henley, where if you have overlap at Remenham, anything can happen, and that is exactly what Cambridge are looking to do here. As they pass Remenham, I think they're just getting their bow up onto the stern of Princeton. So if they get overlap, anything can happen, Kath. This is going to be really exciting.
And these moments are powerful, aren't they? Psychologically powerful. If that cock says to the Cambridge crew, we've got overlap, you know, suddenly there's a surge of energy and belief that comes with that as well. So yes, all these small little phrases, they mean so much. If you hear that from the crew, from your cocks, you know, yeah, we're still in this. We've got to keep believing in what we're doing. So actually the Princeton crew is pretty international, isn't it? There's a couple of Aussies in there. There's an old Windsor Boys School, Theo Bell, Antonian.
Yeah, that's right. These US colleges, we know that they're made up and comprised of a strong international cohort, but it's not just the Princeton crew. In fact, the Cambridge crew has a pretty global boat as well. So a lot of these university and college programs really do pick up some of the best rowers from a number of the top rowing nations. And we have about 160 Australians who are currently studying at US colleges at the moment. I think the Kiwis have about 80 of their athletes studying at US colleges. So it is a very attractive proposition.
So the Princeton crew, coached by Greg Hughes, who himself was a Princeton undergraduate, who's been there, I think, 28 years. Assistant coach to the US team for a long part of that as well. So incredible experience to help blend this crew, bring it together, and the power's come back on. They weathered what Cambridge threw at them, but the power is back in there, isn't it, as they are starting to move away now.
Really impressive push here from Princeton. They took the race by the scruff of the neck. They took it early and wanted to create a dominant lead. Cambridge pushed back, but now Princeton have been able to respond to that call, and they are driving down past the enclosure.
You can hear the power, the force that's going down. It is flying along to the finish line there. What an impressive boat speeds they've got there, and it is going to be a victory for Princeton University in the Ladies Challenge Plate. Power, a display of great power all the way down, and they beat a very valiant Cambridge University crew who threw everything they had, but it was not enough to get close to the Tigers. Again, we see what it means. We see those moments of joy and exhaustion.
Well, Princeton have done it in the ladies. Will they do it later today in the Temple? What a race. So we see the weather conditionings that are